Yeah, we got Andrey with us at Andrey Tattooing, amazing neotread artist at Powerline Tattoo, our buddy. Let's get into it a little bit. Andrey, Instagram.
Sorry, should we cut?
Alright, so we got Andrey with us. We're talking about social media. Revolving your social media, your social media has grown a lot in the past 2 years since we've been working together at Powerline. You've gained, 80,000 followers almost since I've known you. What do you think are some of the
2 years?
In 2 years we've
Crazy.
known you? That's pretty rad, man. So what do you think are some of the important things that you do in your Instagram that have been a big part of your success?
Really staying consistent with posting, two, maybe at least one a week, just something to, you want to keep putting stuff out, you really want to keep engaging stuff, you want to post on your stories, one reel, one photo, a week. I like to post little snapshots of sketches I'm doing on my story, keep that little circle, in people's, algorithms or whatever you call it.
Yeah.
You really want to have a little bit of something every week.
Yeah, and I noticed too that your Instagram is really organized. It looks, when you scroll through it, man, it just looks great. Your work looks consistent. The pictures all kind of look the same, and is that really important to you? Do you focus a lot on just the way your page looks, almost like a little gallery?
Oh yeah, definitely. I want you to look at the 9 squares that are on there. I want them to look like one person did it. That's why I keep my reels separate from the photos I post.
Wait, what do you mean? You don't have your reels on your main page? You keep your reels?
Yeah, I remove them from the profile grid all the time, just so it's you have your reels that are consistent, you have your profile that's consistent. You look at someone's profile real quick, you look at it and you're like, oh, it's kind of random, you go back to it, but when you click on it, it's consistent, and you're like, whoa, this person has a thing, I want to follow this person for their thing. I don't want say I saw a really good neotrad piece, I clicked on their profile, they have some random black and gray stuff. I'm not going to give them, I'm not going to give them a follow because I want to see that neotrad stuff. I want to I follow people because I want to see their work, and having that consistent look right off the bat. You click on it, those pins that recently came out really helped. The 3 pins you can put on top of your profile.
You put a lot of thought into what specific pieces you want to pin?
Oh, the ones that got the most interactions, I would not necessarily, if they're some of my most technical or my most, craziest work, I just kind of look at the ones that caught people the most and put 3 of them up top, just because those people are looking at your profile, they click on it, it's 2-5 seconds, they're clicking back, what's going to make them linger a little bit, what's going to make them want to give you a follow.
I want to get a little more into your schedule too, because you kind of glazed over that really quickly. You mentioned that you post, I think you said one photo or main page post per week and one reel a week, is that right? Or do you more than that? Are there specific days you post? And also stories. Can you just get a little more specific about what your schedule is for posting?
I feel like the schedule for posting could be different from everyone, because I tried people giving advice on times, and they tried the same times I do, and it completely flopped or didn't work for them and all that too. So that's definitely something that is unique to every account that you have to notice. Okay. Everyone has a little bit of a different audience depending on what side of the country you are, what kind of following you have. I noticed, your post gets seen by the people who follow you first and most. So getting those people to engage a lot at the first hour of when you post is pretty important. That's gonna snowball. I feel.
And how is there some sort of secret key to doing that, or?
It honestly just, you post something, you see it do well, write it down. Write down what time you post it. You see someone else post something that's blowing up. See what time it is, what day it is. Keep it in mind, write it down or whatever. Okay. But mostly, just you put up a story, per se, and you notice you have a ton of people looking at it. Think about what could it be? Could it be the time? Could it be the day? you know, what is it? You know, like my most viewed story was the picture of Mike Ledoux.
Yeah.
You know, like I don't know what that was.
Sexiness. That's the appeal.
Yeah, I guess that's what it is.
A little sex appeal.
Yeah, I noticed, you know, early in the morning, you know, I'll post a little, you know, snapshot because I usually wake up around 8. I do a little bit of drawing before I go and a little bit of prep work. You know, I post a little zoom in of, you know, what I might be doing that day.
Yeah.
Notice that kid gets like a ton of you know, interactions, and I honestly think, you know, nowadays first thing people do when they wake up is they go on their phones.
One thing that I noticed, and you can speak to like how intentional this is I noticed that you are very active, not just on your own page, but like you're very active on other people's pages. You're commenting. You know, I see your name, not just like that you like something, but I see your name popping up. You know, as an artist, you know, it's always like a thrill to get like a great comment from another artist that you respect and are inspired by. Is that something that you think about? Is that something that you think helps with engagement?
Oh yeah, definitely. I try to answer every comment as much as I can. You know, there's actually a little tool in your notification circle where you can filter, you know, comments to followers. You filter all the comments, you get all the comments you get on a thing just in once. You know, I try to reply a little bit. A lot of the stuff of me posting other stuff, you know, I see like, you know, like a friend of mine, you know, an artist I like to hype him up, you know. But that does, you know, really help with you interacting with other people. You know, you see your name pop up, you see in the comments, and kind of like, you know, I think your algorithm links you, you know, in a way. Like, I remember reading something about DMs. Like, you know, a lot of people have no DMs in their profile too. And over one winter, you know, I started noticing my engagement drop, and I was just kind of like wondering. So I read a couple of things online, and sometimes those DMs, you know, link you to people. Like you DM someone a lot.
Yeah.
You know, like the little thing when you click follow and it gives you like little suggestions of other people to follow.
Yeah.
So it could be something like that. Like the more you interact with that one account,
yeah,
you know, the more likely you will show up in the dashboard or the feed of the person that you're
like a suggestion to follow.
You know, it kind of like interlinks too. So the people you interact with follow, you know, it's a little circle. You know, I comment on your guys' stuff, you know, it's, you know.
Yeah, man, and I you know, it helps. I feel like, I mean, you tell me if you notice this, but I feel like, you know, you everybody kind of knows that like if you get like a lot of interactions right away, it's going to help your algorithm, you know. And so if there's an artist that's hyping you up, you know, people are in each other's comments, obviously that's good for you, you know, and you're stoked, and so you want to repay the favor. And like I definitely, you know, if I have people in my comments, you know, towards the beginning commenting, I try and you know, think about that, and especially if it's somebody who's doing dope work, you know, you want to pay it back and leave comments on theirs, you know, as soon as you see them or as much as you can. I think that, like you said, paying it forward that way, hyping people up, it helps everybody.
Oh, definitely. You know, when I comment on someone's post, it's because I want them to see me hyping them up. I want them to be like, oh, hey, you know, Andrey, you know, like this thing, you know?
Yeah.
And, you know, I like to think about that when people are commenting on my stuff. They want you to, that's why people comment, they want you to see what, you know, what they're saying. They want to be, you know, heard, you know, even if it's like, you know, a fucking emoji, you know, like it's just something that you like, you know, seen them, you heard them, you know, you're interacting with them too, you know. Like I know when I like post off back in the day, I posted someone's like picture that I think is like really cool, you know, it's like a, you know, an artist I looked up to, and they're like prayed hands emoji. I'm like, oh cool, you know, he saw me, you know, kind of like type deal.
Totally. And then if they like commented back to you, you're that much more psyched about it, you know. Like you said, like just a little praying hands emoji or whatever, it keeps that relationship going, and you know, it just kind of helps the algorithm, you know, gives it more fuel for the algorithm.
Well, like you were talking about with the DMs, like you never know like what how that might integrate somehow, you know, whether, you know, they might stop following you, or you know, how you might end up on somebody's radar by just, you know, being part of an interaction a little bit more. You know what I mean?
You know, interact as much as you can. You know, I never, you know, I miss a lot of DMs. You know, they're in the hidden folder and all that too. And then by the time I see them, it's been 3 weeks, and it's kind of like, you know, I'm not gonna message you like a month after because it's a little, you know, a little awkward. But you know, but that does kind of, I think, from, you know, what I read, it really integrates you within that circuit.
I know a lot of people spend a lot of time overthinking about what they post, you know. I think that sometimes will stop a lot of people you know, where they'll have a tattoo or two that kind of ends up in the hopper, and then you don't post for a while, and you kind of maybe are overthinking about it, and then it's been, oh, now it's been kind of too long, like, you
Dude,
know.
I'm dying to hear the answer to this because I'm guilty of this all the time.
Yeah, I'm just kind of wondering, man, like, you're so consistent with posting, and, you know, obviously, like, it's, you know, your work looks great, of course, you know, but do you ever have moments like that where you kind of feel second thoughts about, like, should I post this one, or, you know, is it as good as it could be? You know, we all kind of have doubts and stuff like that.
Yeah, and how do you decide what makes the cut?
Yeah.
That's kind of like, sometimes it's a little random, like some of the stuff that done the best on my profile, you know, I thought that I've done tattoos, you know, not necessarily they're bad, they're really good, but sometimes, you know, it's like a little bit, sometimes, you know, I do like nature ladies sometimes, you know, and it's like just like flowers, a face and a leaf, you know, something I've done before too, and sometimes you think of like, oh, you know, I already kind of like put something, you know, in that kind of aesthetic up already. It's
like maybe nobody wants to see this.
Yeah, and then, you know, you post it and it blows up and you're like, oh, okay, well,
it's exactly the kind of pathways of thinking I'm talking about.
Yeah.
We all have our version of it.
And sometimes you're like, you fucking sick tattoo, you leveled up like 1,000 levels on the technique, you know, you post it and no one gives a
yeah.
you know, so, you know, it's really random, I think, you know. A lot of the stuff I post was like done 2-3 months ago, you know, like I'll hold on to stuff for a bit, and sometimes I post things as I go through, like you know, I did it yesterday and stuff like that too, based on like, I post a little snippet of it in my story and I notice people like, you know, liking it, replying to it, like, oh, what's this? I was like, oh, people want to see it.
And that motivates you more to post it.
You know, I'll put it up or something like that. That's why those little snippets work a little bit too, you know?
Yeah.
Kind of get people interesting, but...
Kind of using your story as a way to kind of engage maybe like a little snippet like you said, and kind of using that, you know, the information to kind of decide or not.
Yeah, you know, dip your toes in a little bit. You know, like
You know, and it sounds like you're also kind of like committing yourself to, like, you have a schedule, like you're telling yourself, like, this is a tattoo I did, like I'm gonna post, you know, so.
Yeah, definitely. If you have like posts in the past that have done really well, you can kind of, you know, it's, you know, people used to do like a throwback Thursday type thing. To, you know, post them. I think reel's a really good way of doing something that we've done in the past that did really well. And put a little bit, you know.
So you're saying, like, if it was just a photo, like a main page post that did really well, using that same piece as a reel, and what do you do to change it?
I usually, I mean, it's different for everyone. I usually like to just put like iPad drawing of it next to the finished product. It's kind of interesting to see that. I notice it done well.
Yeah.
Like I have this one tattoo that's probably responsible for like, I don't know, 10 to 15,000 people that, you know, came to my page as a little wine glass, you know. I posted the drawing of it, it did really well. Posted it really well, and I posted the finished product as a reel too. So overall, you know, you can, out of one, you know, you do one good tattoo, you can get a lot out of it, you know, if it does really well.
So yeah, man, I mean, it's so impressive. I mean, going, like we said before, going from, like, you know, gaining 80,000 followers in like about 2 years. I mean, it's so impressive. I think I know the answer to this, but I think a lot of people would be interested. Are there any shortcuts? Have you ever paid for followers? Have you ever, you know, done like boosted posts, sponsored posts, that kind of thing? You know, just any sort of shortcuts. Have you found any luck with basically like paying for follows or likes or comment, any of that kind of stuff?
I would say about, out of the 80,000 that I had, probably maybe 3,000 to 4,000 of that might have been to promotions I've did in the past.
And when you say promotions, what do you mean specifically?
Like the boosted post.
Oh, okay.
I haven't really, I honestly tried it like a month ago and it was just a complete flop. Like it was, for the past 2 years, they've been completely useless. I remember about like a year and a half ago, I did do it and it had a little bit of an effect, but it wasn't really anything significant. I think it's a waste of money on most parts.
It sounds like it's not really like a substitute for hard work, for just posting consistently, spending time, putting in the hours on the app.
No, my most viewed posts and reels and stories, I never really had to do anything about them, and I really think you know, it's organic. I've done boosts before, and I think they're responsible for probably maybe like 10 to 5% of the people that did follow me, and a lot of the times you never really know who it's targeting. It could be targeting like a bunch of people from across the world. You know? So that organic growth is a little bit better because it builds off. I feel like it builds off the people you're already interacting with. People, like in your country, in your circle, tattooers, people who are interested in tattoos. I've seen sponsored posts pop up on my stories sometimes. They're completely fucking random.
It's nothing that you would continue to interact with.
And I usually click like please stop showing me this kind of deal too. So I kind of gave up on that.
Awesome, man. Andrey, thank you so much for taking your time to talk to us. All this information, I know for me, I've been interested just to pick your brain about, so it's been nice to hear, man, chat with you and kind of hear just your process and, your approach, man. Everybody has different thoughts and philosophies about it, so it sounds like consistency and stuff has been a big success, so yeah. All right, man. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Andy Large.
I'm Evan Olin.
And I'm Andrey.
Make sure you like, subscribe, leave a comment. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you again.
See you next time.